When The Big Bang Theory first introduced Howard Wolowitz, he was often portrayed as the quirky, overconfident aerospace engineer who flirted relentlessly and sometimes crossed lines with his friends and women alike. But as the show evolved, so did Howard, and by the end of the series, he had grown into a surprisingly mature and grounded man. One of the most touching and long-term character developments in the show was how The Big Bang Theory ultimately followed through on Howard's promise to his late mother and to himself, becoming the kind of husband, father, and man she always hoped he'd be. His journey, though peppered with humor and occasional cringeworthy moments, stands as one of the most meaningful transformations in the sitcom's 12-season run, solidifying his place as one of its most human and heartfelt characters. From the beginning, Howard was defined by his complicated relationship with his mother. Mrs. Wolowitz, famously never seen but always heard through her booming off-screen voice, symbolized both love and smothering control. She doted on him, criticized him, and enabled his childish habits all at once. Yet despite their comedic dynamic, there was always a layer of tenderness beneath the shouting. Deep down, Howard wanted to prove himself to her, to be seen as more than her little Howie living in her basement. His ambitions as an astronaut and engineer were often played for laughs, but his drive to make her proud was genuine. When he finally became an astronaut and went to space in Season 5, it was not just a professional milestone, it was a symbolic leap toward independence, fulfilling his long-held dream and, in a way, his promise to grow beyond the sheltered boyhood she had built around him. However, The Big Bang Theory didn't stop there. It took Howard's story even further by exploring how his mother's influence continued to shape him even after her passing. When Mrs. Wolowitz's character was written out of the show following the real-life death of actress Carolyn Susie, it became one of the most emotional turning points in the series. Howard's grief was genuine, raw, and deeply relatable. The man who had once been the comic relief now became the emotional anchor of the group for a time. It was in this phase that Howard's earlier promise, to become a responsible adult who could stand on his own, truly began to materialize. One of the most beautiful aspects of Howard's evolution came through his relationship with Bernadette. When the two met, it seemed like opposites attracting. She was serious, driven, and no-nonsense, while he was goofy and flirtatious. But their chemistry quickly became undeniable.